Neither one is inherently better than the other. However, depending on your situation, one may clearly be better. That's why in this lesson, I'm going to dive into a few specific examples that illustrate how supplements are different from Advantage plans. Overall, here's a reminder of the cost structure difference. On the left, with original Medicare plus a supplement plan, you will pay a guaranteed amount each year, usually paid out monthly. On the right, if you choose an Advantage plan, you will pay for services as needed in the form of co-pays or occasionally co-insurance. You will start much closer to zero, if not at zero, and you will have a maximum out-of-pocket, which is your copayment ceiling. If you're among the small percentage of people that reach that ceiling, you will no longer pay any copays. So now let's run through an example. Imagine there are identical twins, Johnny and Jimmy. Let's say Johnny gets a supplement plan and Jimmy gets an Advantage plan. For the plan premium, Johnny would pay, let's say, $1,800 a year, and Jimmy would pay $0 a year for the plan because he got a $0 premium Advantage plan. No matter which route you go, you will always pay your Part B premium. Last year was $164. This year looks like it'll be $175. But let's just say over the course of the year, that was $2,100 for both Johnny and Jimmy. So let's assume that the Medigap plan Johnny got was a Plan G, which is a very common supplement Medigap plan. So this plan would not cover Johnny's Part B deductible, which is around $226. For round numbers, I'm going to put $230. So this means Johnny would have to pay $230 for medical expenses before the insurance would actually start to kick in. If you remember before, supplement plans do not bundle in drug coverage, which means that Johnny with the supplement would also have to have a prescription drug plan. Let's say over the course of the year, Johnny spent $300 in drug plan premium and about $200 as a deductible. Now here's where the copays start to come in for Jimmy with the Advantage plan. So when these twins need hospital or medical services throughout the year, Johnny with the supplement plan, Plan G, would be covered, while Jimmy with the Advantage plan would have copays. So let's say they had 2 primary care physician visits. Both would be $0 because a lot of Advantage plans have PCP visits at $0. They saw 3 specialists, so Johnny with the supplement would have no payment for that, while Jimmy, let's say he had $135. This is assuming his Advantage plan has a $45 specialist copay. Let's say they got an MRI. Again, Johnny would pay nothing for that, while Jimmy would have either a copayment or co-insurance. So let's say he had 20% co-insurance and that cost him $160. They had an ambulance ride. Johnny would pay nothing and Jimmy would pay $250 copay. And they had a 2-night stay in the hospital. So Johnny again would pay nothing, but Jimmy would pay, let's say, $700 for that stay. And then a few miscellaneous items. Johnny, let's say he just didn't have a dental plan, but he just paid for his cleanings as he went into the dentist and paid $400 for that, while Jimmy actually had dental bundled into his Advantage plan, so he would pay nothing for those preventative services. And finally, let's say both Johnny and Jimmy spent about $200 over the course of the year for drug co-payments. So every time they got a prescription drug, they would pay something like $10. Overall, Johnny, for his supplement plan, paid $5,230 for his healthcare, while Jimmy only paid $3,545. So in this example, when the twins had an average medical year, Jimmy with the Advantage plan saved about $2,000 more than Johnny with the supplement plan. But now you're probably wondering, what if they had a really bad year? What if it was catastrophic? Let's say example 2, both twins had a really bad year. Again, the plan premium would be the same. Johnny for the supplement would pay $1,800 over the course of the year, while Jimmy with the Advantage plan would pay nothing. The Part B premium and deductibles stay the same as well. The drug premium and drug deductibles stay the exact same. Now here's the main difference. Instead of listing them all out, I just said Medicare covered services. Let's say they had multiple ambulance visits, multiple trips to the hospital, infusions, just a really bad medical year. So Johnny with the supplement would be covered just like he was in example 1. Now let's say Jimmy with the Advantage plan hit his maximum out of pocket of $3,800. So at that point, he will not pay a dollar more. And then finally, we still add in the dental cleaning and the drug copay for Johnny under his supplement plan. In this example, with the really bad year, Johnny with the supplement plan G still paid $5,230. If you remember back to the difference in cost structure, people with supplement plans pretty much know a guaranteed amount they're going to pay over the course of the year. And we can see that play out here. Jimmy with the Advantage plan, on the other hand, paid $5,900. So we can see that when they had an average year, Jimmy with the Advantage plan saved about $2,000 more than Johnny with the supplement plan. But on the right, example 2, when they had a bad year, Jimmy ended up paying a few $100s more than Johnny. The main reason for that is because of the maximum out-of-pocket, that copayment ceiling. Once Johnny hit that maximum out-of-pocket, he stopped paying for all the services that he needed. So let's visualize this with the bar charts we saw before. So on the left, we have the original Medicare plus the supplement plan plus the drug plan. And on the right, we have the Advantage plan. So on the left, Johnny paid $4,630 for his premiums and his deductibles, and then a few miscellaneous items, the drug co-payments and the dental cleaning, put him up to $5,230. Now, Jimmy with the Advantage plan, on the other hand, starts at 0 and has a maximum out of pocket. With his premiums and deductibles out of the way, he was at about $2,100. Once he added his copays in, he got up to $3,545. So this is example 1 with the average year. Now when we go to example 2 with the bad year, we'll see that Jimmy with the supplement plan on the left is going to stay the same, but Johnny with the Advantage plan on the right is going to be different. So starting back from square 1, we see that Jimmy with the supplement still had premiums and deductibles, $4,600. Add the miscellaneous to $5,200, same as last time. Now, Johnny with the Advantage plan has the $0 start with the maximum out of pocket. His premiums and deductibles take him to $2,100, same as last time, but now he's gonna have copays for services that take him all the way up to $5,900. And as we can see, up by that $5,900 moop, we have the $3,800, so that's the maximum out of pocket for the actual plan. And then the $2,100 is the premium for part B. Now I know I'm throwing a lot at you in this lesson, but the goal is to help you deeply understand how they work so you're not left in the dark. So overall in this example, we can see that with the Advantage plan, you have more of a range where you can save a lot of money, potentially thousands of dollars, but you could also possibly spend a little more money. Now in this case, you might wonder, why wouldn't everybody choose the Advantage plan? And the truth is, Advantage plans can often be very cost effective, but not all Advantage plans are created equal. Some have much higher maximum out of pockets, some have a lot worse copays, and some networks are better than others. So now that you understand how the cost structure works from that example, I'm gonna dive behind the scenes and illustrate it in a little different way. So at the age of 65, Medicare becomes your primary insurance. Let's say the government sets aside about $1,000 a month for your care. And this is because you paid into the program for so long throughout your working life. So now you have two options. You have the supplement option or the Advantage option. As we mentioned before, if you choose the supplement route, you keep original Medicare, which is parts A and B, and then you add a Part D drug plan. On the right side, Part C is just another name for Advantage plan. So there are 3 ways that you pay for insurance. There's premiums, deductibles, and co-payments or co-insurance. So co-payments are a dollar amount that you pay, and co-insurance is a percentage amount that you pay. So on the supplement side, you would pay no premium for Part A hospital. You would pay a deductible, which changes yearly, but last year it was $1,600. And you would pay 20% co-insurance, which is that large gap that we mentioned before. For Part B, you would pay a $164 premium. Again, that changes yearly. A $226 deductible, changes yearly. And 20% co-insurance, another one of those big gaps in original Medicare. For Part D, you would also have a premium, It can range from $5 to $115 a month. And then you would also have a deductible, $545. Again, that changes yearly. And you would pay co-payments for your drugs as you need them. So for example, let's put $10. This is where we add the Medigap plan. So when you add a Medigap supplement plan, you'll add on another premium, let's say a range of $100 to $200 a month based on your age and your gender. You would have no deductible and no co-payments or co-insurance for that. And here's how the Medigap plan actually fills the gaps in original Medicare. It would actually cancel out the deductible for Part A and the co-insurance for both Parts A and B. So now you picked up an extra premium, but you're not going to be paying those massive deductibles and co-insurance anymore. When you have a claim on the supplement side, your providers would bill Medicare, and they would use that $1,000-ish a month that they set aside for your care to pay for your claims. Now on the other side, what Medicare can do is actually throw that money over to the private insurance company who has the Advantage plan. And if you enroll an Advantage plan, that plan would most likely cost you something like no premium, no deductible, and you would have co-pays as needed. For example, let's say $45 for a specialist. Like I mentioned before, no matter which option you go with, you will still pay that Part B premium of $164, but you would also have drug included in your plan, so you wouldn't have extra premiums and extra deductibles for drugs. Advantage plans can also bundle in extra benefits like dental, vision, hearing, over-the-counter card, gym membership, mental health, etc. And there is always a maximum out-of-pocket, the copay ceiling. So I hope those illustrations and examples help you understand the differences between supplement and Advantage. I know it can be a lot, but the more that you understand how they work behind the scenes, the more of an informed decision you can make. If you want to see those illustrations and examples up close, you can actually download them and print them out. Check out resources 12 and 13. To recap the difference in supplement versus Advantage, supplements are more like a subscription that you'll pay for monthly, and you can use the services however much you want. Advantage plans, on the other hand, are more of a pay-as-you-go model, where you start at zero, you have a ceiling, and then you will rack up co-payments as needed. If you want to start browsing supplement and Advantage plans, check out resources 7 and 8. I am a licensed insurance broker, and on there I'll have some of the actual plans that I'm licensed to sell in your area. And if you want me to add your preferences like your drugs, pharmacy, hospital, and more to actually give you an estimation of what your costs might look like, schedule a meeting with me. It'll be a free intro call. Again, I'm a licensed insurance broker, trained and certified with some of the top providers in the country, such as United Healthcare, Health Alliance, Aetna, Humana, Blue Cross Blue Shield, and Wellmark. If you decide to work with me, there is never a fee for my service ever. I am only paid if I keep my clients, which means their satisfaction is my priority, and I offer face-to-face year-round service. If you have not yet downloaded my free 14-page fill-in-the-blank workbook for this course, I highly recommend you do that. You can do it in the gold form on the screen. It'll help you drastically increase your comprehension of the material. In the next lesson, I'll go over a fun analogy I made to help my clients choose the best path for them. So whenever you're ready, click the button below and continue to lesson number 7.